Very good afternoon. You're watching CNN News 18. I'm Akanksha Swaroop. We dive into this segment with some breaking inputs. In fact, coming in, the top court has made an observation. This is with regards to name calling Miya-Tiyan and Pakistani. This, as the Supreme Court has now observed, is in poor taste but does not amount to any offence of hurting the religious sentiment of the person who was being called out. The court has discharged a person accused of offence under section 298 of the Indian Penal Code that actually talks about uttering of offensive words, etc., with deliberate intent to wound religious feelings. The Supreme Court has said that the appellant is accused of hurting the religious feelings of the informant by calling him Miya-Tiyan and Pakistani. Now, the Supreme Court has gone on to say that undoubtedly the statements made were in poor taste. However, it does not amount to hurting of the religious sentiments of the informant. So, big interesting observation, in fact, coming in, and the Supreme Court has said that the remarks do not make for any offensive language, and the Supreme Court has now closed the case against this man who in fact referred to a person as Pakistani and used name calling by using terms like Miya-Tiyan and even referred to the person as Pakistani. And the Supreme Court has of course gone on to concur that this has been in poor taste but does not amount to an offence of hurting anybody's religious sentiment. The court has also discharged the person who has been accused of this offence. Remember, it was a case that was under section 298 of the Indian Penal Code, which deals with uttering of words and offensive language with deliberate intent to wound any religious feelings. But the latest input that we are bringing to you right now is that the Supreme Court has said that the appellant, who is accused of hurting these religious feelings of the informant by calling him names like Pakistani and even referring to him as Miya-Tiyan, is in fact nothing offensive, or in terms of religion it is not hurtful. Undoubtedly, the statements that have been made are in poor taste. The Supreme Court in fact has agreed to that, but it has also maintained that it does not amount to hurting the religious sentiments of the entire of the informant. Now, the Supreme Court has also discharged the person who has been accused so far. Let's quickly go across to Ananya Bhatnagar, who is joining us live on the broadcast. Ananya, take us through why the Supreme Court has made these observations and why do they think that this is not hurting of religious sentiments?
Well, definitely. This was an FIR that was filed by a clerk who had gone on to file an RTI application and to know the status of that RTI application when, the particular person, the appellant in this particular case, had actually, in fact said these words to, in fact, that particular person who has filed that, who's the complainant in this particular case. But at the same point of time, after analyzing the case, the Supreme Court felt that the ingredients of the particular section with regards to hurting religious sentiments were not made out, and hence though using such words against a particular person in is into poor taste is not something that is correct, but at the same point of time does not constitute the offence of hurting the religious sentiments, is what the Supreme Court has gone on to say. A very, very crucial observation coming in from the topmost court of the country, almost a 15-page judgment that has been rendered by the topmost court of the country, saying that though all of this is in bad taste, you cannot say all of these words to a particular person, it might be hurtful, but at the same point of time it does not breach and hurt the religious sentiments of a particular person. The ingredients of the particular section are not made out, and hence the particular person has been granted a relief from the topmost court of the country itself.
Ananya, the Supreme Court has also said that the person cannot be charged under section 504 of the IPC. Why has the top court in fact referred to two sections of the IPC, namely the 298 and 504?
Well, these are particular sections which are with regards to using such words against a particular person, especially hurting the religious sentiments of a particular community or a particular person, and that is not made out, is what the Supreme Court has gone on to say very clearly, that the ingredients of this particular offence under the Indian Penal Code are not made out, and hence that particular person has been granted a relief by the topmost court of the country. But very clearly the Supreme Court has gone on to say that, this is in bad taste, and using such words against a particular person is completely in poor taste itself.
Absolutely. Many thanks to you, Ananya. A very important, in fact, observation coming in from the top court.